I've got this back again. I think it's time to bring it back out. It's the text of the Lisbon Treaty. I handed some of these out during the referendum campaign in Ireland. And I'm very curious to see that the European Commission has decided that they need to spend 1.8 million euro of your taxpayers' money to educate and inform the Irish people. The Irish people had something that nobody else in Europe had on this issue, the Lisbon Treaty, which was a debate. We had a debate. We discussed the issues. People, including me, read this. Some people did, not many, including our Prime Minister, didn't read this. But we had a debate. So if the Commission thinks that the Irish people need to be educated and informed, and that your money as taxpayers from Germany and France and Spain and everywhere else across Europe, that they should be spending your money to educate and inform the Irish people, obviously with the objective of having us vote again, then they should be doing that for all of us as European citizens, because you didn't have this debate anywhere else in Europe. We did. It's disgraceful that taxpayers' money is being used to develop propaganda to try and overturn a sovereign democratic result in a referendum that, at least in Ireland, we had the courage to hold. Unlike Gordon Brown in the UK, unlike Portugal, where promises were made to hold referenda on this question, but they were not held. Today, here in Brussels, a summit takes place behind closed doors to discuss a problem that was fueled itself by a lack of transparency and oversight. And yet, the meeting to discuss that issue is being held behind closed doors. It's somewhat ironic. Of course, I'm talking about the discussion with regard to the financial crisis. The lack of democracy, of transparency and of accountability here in Brussels is increasing weekly. Let me just give you a few examples. MEPs have just recently voted to keep their expenses secret. So I call on those MEPs that voted to keep these expenses secret. I call on the MEPs, for example, in my own member state, to release their expenses. Why do these need to be secret? This is taxpayers' money that they're spending. Why are MEPs voting to keep expenses hidden from the rest of us? We see the possibility of the Commission being talked about the Commission extending their mandate, waiting for what they think will be a forced yes vote in a second Irish referendum, should that happen. So they're talking about extending their mandate. This is laughable. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely anti-democratic, and it shows complete contempt for the decision that's already been made by the Irish people, and that would be made by others if they were given the opportunity to vote on it. The opportunity that President Sarkozy, that the Dutch government denied their people. If it's good enough for Ireland to vote on twice, given that the Dutch and French people said no to the same thing, because you all know that the Lisbon Treaty is the same as the European Constitution, then why aren't they getting a vote on it as well? Why doesn't Gordon Brown have the courage to meet his promise to the British people, the promise he made to Labour Party supporters in the UK, to have a referendum? Because Gordon knows that the British people would never accept this anti-democratic formula.